Hey guys, it's Jessie, and I am here to review Season 3, Episode 8 of Strange New Worlds, 4.5 Vulcans. Now, of course, if you have not seen this episode yet, please turn back now because there will be spoilers.
Spoilers!
I was kind of dreading this episode because we had seen a clip of it earlier when they were discussing about season 3 with the trailers and stuff like that. And a lot of people had the same reaction that basically Spock was going to be put down for being half human. And we've all been kind of waiting for that cringe moment. And it's funny because they did it right off the bat. And then it kind of slowly disappeared because of the other problems that was happening. But this is going to be kind of a quick review. So I got a few clips for you. So here we go.
Overwhelming! Oh, I cannot handle!
You don't feel anything?
No. And to be honest, I'm a little jealous. That looked like fun.
So, of course, this starts with that they have to go to a pre-warp civilization, okay, but the Vulcans have already been there. And so in order to help these people fix their reactor core, I guess is what it was, everyone had to come down and be fully Vulcan because apparently they had some high tech there that could tell if they were being imposters or not. So of course there's Pike, and then there's La'an, Chapel, Uhura, and there was supposed to be Palia, but because she is a Lanthanite, she couldn't do it. And of course, that was a very funny scene. So of course, Spock goes down, and it's immediate. There's only 4.5 Vulcans. He's only half Vulcan, and they start putting him down immediately. And it was kind of like thrown in your face, right? Which we were expecting. We've seen this scene before, but it was almost like too thrown in your face, and it was kind of harsh. And I was trying to think about maybe because they went through human to Vulcan in 30 seconds, and so that's why they did not have the ability to be able to control that overly honesty that they were doing. But then again, some Vulcans are like that. Not all of them, though, which Kirk then does say that later on. He's like, I worked under a lot of Vulcans. I've met a lot of Vulcans. His captain's a Vulcan. He's like, I've never experienced it like that, especially when it came to La'an. And so, of course, they go down, get the reactor core fixed, and when they come back, you see Spock holding all the luggage because they're like, you are inferior to us because you're only half. And so it's really hard to watch. And what's kind of hard too is that they were trying to make it funny with Scotty and Una and and even M'Benga. M'Benga was funny to kind of lighten it a little bit, but it didn't really help for me because it still bothered me about how badly they were treating him, especially because it's Pike, who's his friend and his captain. Uhura, he's had a pretty decent, close, friendship with her. And then his ex, which is Chapel, and then his current relationship with his La'an. So Spock is going through a lot right now, and you can't help but feel bad for him.
This is one of 5 additional experiments I've been running at the same time.
6 total. I thought there was only 5.
7. The one on gravitational metrics is merely a side project.
Seems it might be taxing for you to be doing so much work at the same time.
Not in the least. The Vulcan mind has fewer constraints and does not require rest. With the extra processing, There is far more that I can get done.
Of course, trying to turn them back to human doesn't work. And so I picked a scene of where they're a little too Vulcan. La'an was being aggressive and horrible. And I'm thinking she's becoming a Romulan. Like, I don't understand what's going on here. And she's dealing with Kirk and Scotty because Spock has to pretty much deal with everybody else. And of course, Chapel goes ahead and breaks up with Corby, which I'm sure Spock was all like, don't worry, dude, I'll figure it out. Pike with Marie, okay, with Patel. And of course, she's trying to get her job back and she has to deal with the Vulcans. So I knew that was going to work in her favor later on, which it does. And then, of course, you have Uhura with Beto and Erica. So we've noticed that throughout the season, each of these characters have kind of had this little bit of a story happening, and it's kind of come full circle in this moment because they've all had to been dealing with relationship issues, issues with themselves, whatever has happened. Again, as much it was had funny moments, it was just too much. Like, I just couldn't understand why they were so horrible. And I know they tried to explain it, but it didn't really mean much to me. It was just like, okay, cool. And again, they kind of like, okay, we did the whole racist stuff in the beginning, but now we move on. Okay. And they kind of mentioned a little bit here and there about him being half human, but it wasn't anything crazy like it was in the beginning. Like I said, they threw it right in your face just so they can get, move on from it. But yeah, it was just strange in that aspect. Now, of course, at the end of the episode, they've all, turning back human, they've all kind of understood where Spock is coming from. They've kind of understood where their relationships, like with Beto and with Marie and even with Corby and stuff like that, or even with Chapel and Spock, there's more of an understanding. Still did not understand the La'an stuff. Understood why the aggression part when they were mentioning about her augmented DNA. I was like, oh, click. Okay, that makes sense. But I didn't understand why she didn't want to come back. And I know she was saying relationships were complicated. And she just mentioned that I found his clean socks in my drawer, like we're drawer people. And I was like, is that really enough for her to like become horrible and try to start a war and then didn't even want to come back, that Spock had to fight and dance with her in her mind? Like, it just wasn't enough to justify her actions. That was kind of where I was at. But again, they were trying to make it funny. They were trying not to make it too much in your face, but there were moments that was just too illogical in my point. And I don't know, I'm still kind of confused and I just have mixed feelings.
It was a really lovely wedding. The entire Diavian choir sang.
The entire 700-seat choir.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be too loud. I was incorrect. Doug, we were hoping you might be able to help us with a problem.
I have always had a problem for you, Una. I lose sleep dreaming of you.
Some of our crew have been transferred.
We have 2 kids.
2?
2?
I think Rebecca stole the show in this episode. Everyone had points. I thought Kirk with Scotty was great. I thought Mbenga was funny. Even the stuff with Patel and Pike. But Una and having this secret of like, I have an ex who I am just basically physically attracted to, and I become a mushy, girly girl person. I don't know how to mention it, but it was funny. And I think she had a lot of fun with it. I think she had a lot of fun with the Pike scene. She had a lot of fun with Palia, like the stuff when they were in her quarters. Like, you could tell everyone was having fun in these scenes and kind of being a little different and not too serious. But I think Rebecca did a wonderful job. And I really enjoyed this scene when it came to Doug, Spock, and Una and their tin forward. I don't even know what they call it. But I enjoyed that scene. I thought it was funny. I thought Doug was funny because he is a Vulcan, but studied humans and was fascinated with Spock. And I did like that there was a Vulcan who actually appreciated Spock's human half when all Spock knew was Vulcans putting him down for his human half. So I really enjoyed that part, that there are some really nice Vulcans out there that Spock can be around, right? And him trying to teach him, how to, the human side of things was really, really cool. But it was also cool to see, like, in the end, that Una finally admitted to La'an about why she didn't want to go to that planet for shore leave, because her ex was probably going to be there. And sure enough, they were trying to spark up that relationship again. Though, just like Beverly and Picard, they apparently broke up, got back together, broke up, back together. And so hopefully there's no secret child in their future. I'm just saying.
There are presents and cake at the same time?
Yes. Also candles. And they do it every year.
Fascinating. Pull on this finger.
That is correct. And then flatulence.
Happily ever after for everybody. And of course, there is that secret scene at the end of the credits, which we saw part of it in that teaser trailer back before season 3 came out. And it was taught, he was trying to teach Doug all of these human things that they do. And I didn't know if Doug was interested or he was like being more turned off by humans by the way he was reacting. But, we saw the, pull my finger, the jokes, the, I guess we can't read fast enough. But yeah, it was a cute little scene. And of course, at the very, very end, when Doug's walking away, you could see Ethan break, and they kept it in the scene because he has to try and keep a straight face, and he just couldn't because of the way that the actor walked out. But anyways, yeah, it was funny, and it's probably one of the best scenes out there. But like I said, there was a lot of good moments, funny moments, but I just feel like the episode didn't really like mesh together. Like it was just kind of pieced, and I don't know. It, again, mixed feelings. Okay, guys, those are my thoughts on the episode. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to rate this probably the lowest out of the season, and I kind of hate to do that, but I'm going to get a 2.5 Vulcans. I don't know. It just, like I said, it just didn't mesh well together. Again, good times, not so good times. I have just mixed feelings. It's all right, Let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Please like this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, right now I am doing a giveaway that if I get up to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1,000 followers on Instagram, I'm going to be doing a giveaway of a Gates McFadden autograph. So please pass that word along. I would greatly appreciate it. You could also join my Patreon, where you get to see my actual reaction to this video as I'm watching it. And you could also support me in other ways in buying me a coffee, or just, following me on TikTok and Threads and Blue Sky. I will greatly appreciate it. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Until next time, and happy birthday to my daughter, who is 17 today. So live long and prosper. Bye. Don't forget, you can listen to all the audio versions of Crusher Convo on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can support the podcast by buying merch on TeePublic, buy me a coffee by scanning that QR code, or becoming a Patreon member for as low as $3 a month. But the best way to support Crusher Convo is to like and subscribe here on YouTube. You can also find me on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, or TikTok, so please follow me there. And of course, all this information can be found on crusherconvo.com.
Crusher out.